Welcome back, darlings, to the podcast Life Looks Different Now. I'm your host, Slandy Noel. In this podcast, we focus on reading one chapter from the Bible every week, doing our best to decipher the Word of God, learning its rules, its laws, its principles, and apply them to our daily lives. Now, we are beginning a brand new season of the podcast. We are in season 3. And I want to thank you for sticking it with me, for staying around, and for helping this channel to grow. I very much appreciate you. And I appreciate the fact that you and I are in this together. We are learning the Word of God. Let us continue on serving others, on reaching others, on reading the Bible together so we can grow. Now, to start the third season of the podcast, we are going to continue on reading Genesis. And this week, we are reading Genesis chapter 36. Now, this chapter is taking place after Jacob moved back to Canaan, after Jacob lost his wife Rachel, after Jacob lost his father Isaac, and after Jacob reconciled with his twin brother Esau. So we are going to read together Genesis chapter 36 so we can continue on learning about Jacob, who is now Israel, and the whole family and how things are turning around for them. Genesis chapter 36. Esau's descendants. These are the generations of Esau, that is, Edom. Esau took his wives from the Canaanites: Ada, the daughter of Elon the Hittite; Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite; and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, the sister of Nebajoth. And Ada bore to Esau Eliphaz. Basemath bore Reuel, and Oholibamah bore Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Then Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the members of his household, his livestock, all his beasts, and all his property that he had acquired in the land of Canaan. He went into a land away from his brother Jacob, for their possessions were too great for them to dwell together. The land of their sojournings could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau settled in the hill country of Seir. Esau is Edom. These are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timnah was a concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son. She bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These are the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Reuel: Naha, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. She bore to Esau Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the chiefs of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau: chiefs Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, and Amalek. These are the chiefs of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Ada. These are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son. The chiefs Neha, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are the chiefs of Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Oholibamah, Esau's wife. The chiefs Jush, Jalem, and Korah. These are the chiefs born of Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, that is Edom, and these are their chiefs. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, the inhabitants of the land: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Deshan. These are the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir, and the land of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Hori and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. These are the sons of Shobal: Alvin, Manalach, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. These are the sons of Zibeon: and Anah. He is the Anah who found the hot springs in the wilderness, as he pastures the donkeys of Zibeon his father. These are the children of Anah: Dishon and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah. These are the sons of Dishon: Hemden, Ishben, Ithran, and Kiran. These are the sons of Ezer: Belen, Zavan, and Achan. These are the sons of Dishan: Uz, and Aaron. These are the chiefs of the Horites, the chiefs of Lotan: Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These are the chiefs of the Horites, chief by chief, in the land of Seir. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom, before any king reigned over the Israelites. Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, the name of his city being Dinhabah. Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his place. Jobab died, and Usham of the land of the Temanites reigned in his place. Usham died, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, reigned in his place. The name of this city being Evith. Hadad died, and Shemlah of Marisca reigned in his place. Shimlah died, and Shaul of Rehoboth on the Euphrates reigned in his place. Shaul died. And Baalanan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his place. Baalhanan, the son of Achbor, died, and Adar reigned in his place, and the name of his city being Paul. His wife's name was Mehitabel, the daughter of Matred, daughter of Mezahad. These are the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their clans and their dwelling places, by their names, the chiefs of Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Oholibamah, Elah, Pinan, Kenaz, Timnin, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Imram. These are the chiefs of Edom, that is Esau, the father of Edom, according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Well, this chapter was a bit difficult for me to read. So many names that I clearly cannot pronounce. But there's something very interesting that is happening in this chapter, though. We have to remember that Esau is Jacob's twin brother. And according to the custom of the time, Esau should have been the one to carry out the tradition, to be the one to carry out the covenant that God had made between Abraham and himself. That is now that got passed down to Isaac, and now it's got passed down to Jacob instead of Esau, because Esau, being the oldest brother, should have been the one to inherit that covenant, but he did not. He lost his birthright because he chose to sell his birthright to his brother Jacob for a bowl of red porridge. But nevertheless, Genesis chapter 36 is really letting us know that at the end of the day, Esau may not have been the one to carry out the covenant, but he's still an important person, right? Because he is Jacob's brother and he does have a big family. And so Genesis chapter 36 is really the genealogy of Esau, who is also known as Edom, because of course we know, due to his foolishness, by deciding to sell his birthright to his brother. But anyway, we have a chapter here really focusing on his genealogy, on his sons, and how they, became these huge chiefs and they ruled over their kingdom. We learned that Esau had, in the chapter here, we learned that Esau had 3 wives, but really Esau had 4 wives, because we have to remember Esau had a wife that, like her name was Judith from the Canaanites, who really made his father and his mother's lives miserable. Judith was a Canaanite woman who was very difficult with his family. So it looks like for some reason her name was not placed here. It could have very well be because that she didn't bore any sons to Esau. Maybe she bore only daughters, because we know that women were not necessarily named in the Bible. If you see a woman's name being named, there's really a purpose behind it. So here we learned that Esau had 4 wives who bore him 5 sons. We learned that Adah the Hittites bore him a number of sons. Hoholibamah the Hivite bore him sons. Basemath, the daughter of Ishmael being his uncle, who is his father Isaac's brother, who was born out of wedlock. If we go in way back when Abraham decided to, lay with his wife's Sarah's servant girl, and she bore him that son, Ishmael. We know that Esau was trying to be on his parents' grace by even marrying Basemath, his cousin, his first cousin. And so he also married that woman, but he also married Judith, who is really a 4th wife, as we recall from Genesis chapter 26. But she was not named here, because clearly this woman didn't have any sons, because we know oftentimes only sons, and in that time period only men mattered, women did not, unfortunately. So, which is, it is what it is. We can't change that. As much to my chagrin, we cannot change that. It is what it is. So Esau had the 5 sons: Eliphaz, Reuel, Jush, Jelam, and Korah. And of course, he also had many daughters. We know that the daughters were not named. They did not matter. Not for these stories anyway. And then we learned that Esau moved to Seir, because Jacob and Esau were living together after their father Isaac died. And we remember that in Genesis chapter 35, Esau and and Jacob came together and they buried their father Isaac. So they must have decided to live together at that point, build, continue on building their family, building their wealth. But at this time, it's pretty clear that Esau is moving because him and Jacob have way too much wealth. They had all these livestock. The land was too small for them. Again, we have to stress on the fact that wealth is a beautiful thing, because the first thing God said, the first commandment God gave to Adam was to be fruitful, to go out there, to expand, to grow, and then multiply. And it's pretty clear that, these men are following God's command in that sense. They are being very fruitful. So the gift that God has given them, the talent God has given them, they have multiplied these talents so much so that the land could not even support their wealth. So Esau took his family, his herds, and then he moved to the countryside of Seir, because we have to remember that God had already promised the land of Canaan to Jacob and his descendants. So Esau couldn't stay in that land. So naturally, God, through his own power, moved them out of Jacob's sight into the land of Seir, where, Esau's descendants can build their own, nations, their own people, and do their own thing. And Esau's descendant grew. They became the Edomite nation, because they're named after Edom. Esau being red skin with red hair and all of that. And of course, Esau having sold his birthright for porridge. So they became the Edomite nation. And one of Esau's sons, the oldest son, Eliphaz, had 6 sons himself. And then Esau's son, Reuel, had 4 sons. So we can see that all of Esau's descendants are expanding, they're growing. All of his sons are having sons, they're marrying with all these names. So the genealogy is really letting us know that, these people were growing. They grew into their own nations, their own people. But what we are noticing here, we also have to notice that the genealogy of the Horites have also been mentioned alongside the genealogy of Esau, which then tell us that Esau's sons and daughters must have intermarried with these individuals. You see, they must have went out there, because we already know that Esau went out and married Canaanite people. He married the Hittites women. So it's clear that he moved to the Mount of Seir, and his whole family is intermarrying with these individuals. So now their descendants, their genealogy is being merged into one. But before the Edomite took possession of that land, so before Esau and his people and his descendants took possession of that land, there were other people living in that land, right? They were already, the Horites were already living there. So they decided, let's just intermarry, let's do all things together. And which then took Esau's whole descendants, his whole family, his whole generations away from God. So we have to remember, these people who were living in these lands had many gods, right? They were serving all these, false gods. And now we can see that Esau's generations, Esau's descendants their hearts are going astray, because they are intermarrying, they are intermingling with these individuals in the land. They took over the land, and it appeared that it's pretty clear that, the Edomites took possession of that land. They obtained possession of that land. They built their government, they built their own thing, but they lost sight of God. And what's interesting is, like, the chapter is even letting us know that the descendants of Esau became kings even before the descendants of Israel, like before the descendants of Jacob's. And, way before, they had kings, they had built their own nations, their own things. But it goes to show that just because you get to a position, you get to a place before someone else, doesn't necessarily mean that you are better than, or you in a better position than that individual. because we can see after this chapter, Esau will no longer be, Esau's descendants will no longer be mentioned. That is literally the end of them, because they have lost the faith. They were not following God's commands. They were not living according to God's will. And their whole descendants are no more important. They're no more valid. They're no more being named in the Bible. And really, I think it's a great way to begin this third season of the podcast. Is really to remind us again the importance of the decisions that we are making in our lives. Because Esau started by he fumbled his birthright. He gave it away for a bowl of porridge. Oftentimes we lose sight of the bigger picture in our lives, just like Esau did. Sometimes when we are in a poor position, or when we are in a very tough position, when things are looking very grim for us and very hard, and then someone comes to us and give us a proposal that can basically give us some short-term relief, but really will affect us in the long term. But because we are suffering, because we desperately want things to be solved, we desperately want comfort, in the moment that we lose sight of the bigger picture, we lose sight of the blessings that God really wants to give us, you see. And because Esau lost sight of the bigger picture, his whole descendants, lost the blessing of his birthright, lost the blessing of the covenant that God had given to Abraham, then to Isaac. Then now, instead of going straight to Esau, it went straight to Jacob. So let's be mindful when we are making decisions in our lives. And I think this is one lesson that Genesis has been teaching us through reading it, is that we need to stop and think before we do things. Because our decisions don't only affect us, it affects our children, it affects our children's children, 7 generations coming after us. So we stop and we think. And for us to really look at the bigger picture. Don't seek comfort in the now. Don't be so quick to give up your birthright. Because you see, the devil wants us to do that. The devil wants to give us comfort now, want to make things comfortable for us now, so we can actually basically sell our birthright to go to heaven, where we basically give up what God wants for us. So regardless of what you're going through today, be encouraged. Remember that God has something even greater for you. And just because you cannot see it doesn't mean that it cannot happen. So be mindful of the decisions that you are making today, just like I am being mindful of the decisions that I'm making in my life. Stop and think, because it can affect every single person in your family. So I hope that you are continuing and staying with us and reading with us and learning with us. I pray that we can continue on growing this channel so more individuals can come together. We can all come together and read and continue on reading the Bible every, one chapter a week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. I'm cheering for you just like I'm cheering for myself. So for all of us to be learning the word so we can all grow together. So I hope you have a marvelous week. I am praying for you, and I pray that everything is going according to God's will in your life. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next week, darlings. Bisous.